you? Awesome. My name is Hami. I'm 27 years old. I came to Canada in 2008, so roughly like 11 years. I've had a lot of struggles, but for tonight, I'm just going to try to narrow it down to entrepreneurship and mentorship and the effect that it had towards my life. But because the biggest struggle that I had throughout my life was self-knowledge, I kind of didn't know who I am until probably like 23 or 24. As I came from a country that's totally different than here, right? Although my parents wanted to bring me and my sister here to choose what we really want to be, right? But the problem was I was really good at studying, and I'm Persian, right? So in that culture, in that country, it's either you study and you go to university or just you're out. Like it doesn't matter what else you do. You can own a big company, but it doesn't matter if you didn't go to university, right? So when I came here, even though I was good at studying, I could see so many other paths that I could choose, right? But I didn't have the confidence. I didn't know any English at all. I couldn't even speak, like nothing. I think I was in ESL A or B. I don't remember. I wasn't more than B though. So I could sense inside me that I wanted to be more than just a student or more than just an employee. That's just the way I was. I was never a follower ever since I was a kid. And because there was grounds for me here to explore myself, I could explore that every day, more and more. But my parents very soon became the first people to oppose me because they didn't want to see me change, right? Because they were always so proud of me, just getting good marks and everything. But now that I was listening to music, going to school, all of a sudden there was like, there was this huge conflict between them and the family back home and here, right? I just have to say this, I love them, like we are cool now, but we went through that phase where, for like, I think over a year, there was not a single night that all four of us didn't cry and go to sleep, right? So I decided, because I felt like I have nobody. I felt like I have nobody. I felt like I have nothing because I couldn't socialize, I couldn't speak English, I couldn't do anything. I didn't know anything other than studying, right? But because I used to watch this Korean drama where there was this like legend that did Taekwondo, I knew I liked that. That's the only thing I knew. That's the only thing I could feel I can find some comfort in. So I started going to Taekwondo, right? And it gave me the confidence to actually stand up and, talk about myself, just to my parents. Because before that, I would just, go to my room and I wouldn't talk. But when I started going to tournaments and like, how do I say, like getting medals, but not because of the medals, kind of like feeling like, okay, I'm more than just a student. I could actually stand up and talk and not fight my parents and just tell them what I actually feel. So that's when I told my parents that I don't want to go to university. I don't want to go to college. I just want to take a year off or maybe 2 years and find out what I really want it to be, right? Because I never really got the chance. And that's when I sat down and I remembered my childhood. And I remembered that I had probably like 200 car toys. I loved cars, like oh my, I still think about it and I love my toys, right? Yeah, I still do, by the way. I have a lot of toys. So yeah, I decided to, let's give it a shot. I got my license when I was like 18, just a salesperson license. And I started working at a dealership. It was really tough to get the job because, my hair was like triple the size it is now, and I was really proud of it too, right? So any interview I go to, they're like, you can't sell cars like this, right? Yeah, it was really tough. But one day I was working at Rona. I had a lot of odd jobs, but I was working at Rona. I was just like carrying cement and things like that for contractors. And one day, one of the customers came and was like, why are you in such bad mood today? I'm like, honestly, I spent this much money. I saved my money to get the license. I want to work in this field. I love this field. But nobody wants to give me a job. So he found a card at the back of his car that was like crippled. He gives it to me. He's like, I just remember these people are really cool. Just give them a shot. But I live in Toronto, and that dealership was in Newmarket. I remember the day where I was making a right turn to go home, or I had to make a left turn to just go to that dealership and give it a shot. And if I didn't make that left turn, I wouldn't be here. And by here, probably not in this world, right? Because I was dealing with severe depression. Like, I did not like myself at all, right? And all of my friends were like judging me for what I was wearing, and I was really broke, and all that type of thing. So I went up there, I got the job, I don't know if you guys deal with that right now, but back then, I think right now it's a little stronger because of the media. But back then, everything that people my age, especially guys, cared about was make money, get ladies, get the house, get the car, right? But nobody really knew what they want to do after, right? So I kind of felt that, I experienced that, really. Because I was really young and I started making a lot of money, I didn't have any expenses. So I started spending that money and doing the things that I thought is gonna give me credit in front of others, right? So pretty soon I lost the people that really cared about me, the few friends that I had, and now I had a lot of fake people around me that when I didn't have money wouldn't be there, and when I had money, they would all be there, right? Some stuff happened in my life that kind of made me wake up. I'm really blessed when it comes to that because I've reached a lot of crossings, I would say, that I had the opportunity to do, bad things, make money in wrong ways, but I've always kind of been, tapped on the shoulder and be like, hey, like, don't go there. By like different events, some of them have been really, really sad. When I was working at that dealership and was making the money and everything seemed pretty good, and now I was standing up to my parents and yelling at them and say, hey, like, you told me I can't be anything, now I'm making more money than you. We were immigrants, right? My dad at that time didn't have a job. My mom didn't have a job. We were running out of money, and I was making my money and spending it on nothing, basically, right? I was standing up and yelling at them. And, I thought I'm doing the right thing. But then 3 of my family members, in Iran, died in 3 years right after each other. So my aunt died of cancer, then my uncle was in a plane crash that died, and then my grandmother, who played a huge role in my life, passed away of cancer, right? And when she was dying, she was calling me, but because I was working, I would never answer the phone, and I was still thinking that I'm doing the right thing. Well, this is business, right? That's how you do business. Like you shouldn't let anything else distract you. But anyway, when that happened, it was such a big shock that I just quit. I quit. I think I didn't have a job for like a year. I did like little things here and there, like grass cutting or whatever, just to get by. At this point, I knew that everything else I did was really bad. I shouldn't have done that because now I lost my, the respect of my parents and the respect of my friends. But I had no way to kind of win them back. And I was feeling extremely guilty. I always had guilt problems ever since I was a kid, with like little things. So I couldn't even breathe. Like so many birthdays that I wanted to take my life. Like, I just couldn't stand up and explore something else, or even go back to the same business, just be a different person, right? I couldn't do it. So one day, my dad was, talking to me about like something about automation and robotics, which by the way was my other interest when I was a kid. So I thought, you know what? Everyone that knows me is judging me, right? So I need to go to a new crowd where nobody knows me, so I can actually find myself again. So I went to college. I went to Humber for robotics and automation for 2 years. Right? I knew I never want to work in the field. I don't like things like that. I don't like fixing machines, or I will if I have to, but I didn't. It was just interesting for me to know how my phone is working, or something automated is working, or cars. How do they work? Because everything's automatic in the cars, right? This was like probably 4 years ago. In my car career, I worked in a lot of dealerships. At some point, I met one guy. His name was Chad. He taught me everything about being good, about being honest with people. Why be honest with people? Why not make the extra $1,000 and not have a little lie, sit in there and just make a little bit extra money? He told me why not do that, right? So when I finished my college, I knew who to call. I knew that I want to go back to the business, and now, because I was getting good marks and because I was socializing and I could believe that I'm not that loser that I thought I am, I gave him a call and I said, hey man, like, I want to get back to business. You tell me, like, wherever you're working, just hire me. And it happened that he was working at a Lexus dealership. He hired me as an assistant to the pre-owned department manager. So I started working there for 3 months. And I was making okay money, everything was good, but still that kid inside me wanted to have his own company. Right? But I honestly, like, I didn't have even 10% of what it takes to start a company, like money-wise. I didn't have the resources either. But he kept telling me, like, you're so much better than you think you are. Like, why do you say sorry when you're talking to, the general manager? Why do you do that? You're so much better. He gave me, a budget to buy cars for the Lexus dealership. So he boosted my confidence again, made me realize that I can actually do it if I wanted to. So then he actually forced me to quit and join a friend of mine who's like a brother to me. We go up here together. He started a very small dealership, and he was just like having like 2-3 cars to sell. So I quit, I joined him very quickly. Out of 3 cars, we made like 30, 40, 50 cars. A year passed now, and we just had a different vision of life in general. So one night I came home, and my dad's friend was there, a pretty close friend. And he would every time they came there, he would see me that I'm so tired. I get home at like 10 p.m., right? Because I just want to open a parenthesis here. What I noticed about people my age, even right now, everybody wants to get rich, but nobody wants to maintain the hustle. Nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to like wake up tomorrow and be rich, right? That I had the same problem, but now I learned like over time that it's not gonna happen, and I don't want it to happen. Before I used to want to win the lottery. I don't want to win the lottery right now, I swear. Because if that happens, if you like put some hormones in there in those little cute plants, they're not gonna be good. They're probably gonna die, right? So I was ready to do my own hustle. So my dad's friend offered me, said, if you ever want to quit, I will give you capital, I will become your partner, and you can start your own company. And I'll just be a silent partner. Just sit there. You do what you gotta do. So I gathered a team of people. One of them was actually my mentee at college, because like they gave me some, international students to just help them out. I just found out that the guy was really smart. So I always was thinking, if I ever open my own company, I'm gonna hire him, which I did. So last year, I quit and I started putting the documents together. The ministry that oversees car dealers is called Anvik. They're literally like a police station. Like anything you want to do, they would ask you 10 million questions. It's almost like they don't want to give you the license. But anyway, it took me like 6 months, and I finally got the license, and I found the location, and I kept moving forward. But I remember every step I was taking, it felt like something's gonna go wrong, something's gonna go wrong, and I just can't bear, the difficulties. But I was just telling myself, this is what I did my whole life. Every job I had, I just would quit, right? I wouldn't stick to it for it to actually grow and give fruits. So this time I promised myself, no matter what happens, I'm just gonna stick to it, no matter what happens. So now we are a year in. I started with like 5 cars. Now we have probably 30 or 40 cars right now. And the lesson I learned to this day is that no matter where you get, you can lose it in one night. The only thing that stays with you is the people that love you and the people you love, right? Before this beautiful woman showed up in my life, I was making money. I thought I have everything, and I had the business too, but it was just something was still empty, right? And I wish somebody asked me this question when I was a lot younger, right? Because everybody tells you, hey, who do you want to become, right? How much money do you want to make? But nobody really asks you, how many people do you want to have in your life, right? How many people do you want to love you? Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's a little story that I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you.